Just like a bustling metropolis needs efficient roads and traffic lights, computer networks rely on clever systems to direct data packets to their destinations. In OSPF, they use a system called Open Shortest Path First. Think of it like a well-organized hierarchy, kind of like a traditional company with different departments. Each part of the network has its own designated role. Meanwhile, over in ISIS, things are a bit different. This system is all about equality and direct communication. Imagine a cutting-edge tech startup where everyone collaborates on an even playing field. Both systems have their own strengths and weaknesses, just like comparing a trusty old map to a fancy GPS system. Let's start with OSPF system. Imagine a large company with different departments: sales, marketing, engineering, and so on. Each department has its own internal structure and communication channels, just like different areas of a network. OSPF works in a similar way. It divides the network into smaller sections called areas. These areas are like those departments, each responsible for managing traffic within their own boundaries. At the top, we have the backbone area, acting like the company's CEO, overseeing the entire network and connecting all the other areas. Now imagine each department head needs to send a memo to another department. They don't need to know the exact route within the other department, they just send it to the department head and it's distributed internally. OSPF works similarly. Routers, the traffic directors of the network, only need to know the best path to reach another area, not every single device within it. This keeps things organized and efficient. Now let's hop over to ISIS, where things are a bit more relaxed. Forget the rigid hierarchy. IS is all about equality. Think of a trendy tech startup where everyone works together in a more collaborative environment. In ISIS, there's no concept of areas or a central authority. All routers are considered equal and communicate directly with each other. It's like everyone in the startup having access to the same information and being able to collaborate on projects without going through layers of management. This flat structure makes ISIS very efficient for smaller networks. Since everyone can talk to each other directly, there's no need for complex routing decisions. It's like sending a message directly to your colleague instead of going through multiple managers. So we've seen two very different approaches to managing network traffic. But which one's better? Well, it depends. Just like choosing between a large corporation and a nimble startup, the best option depends on your specific needs. Let's talk about scalability first. OSPF, with its hierarchical structure, is like a large corporation that can handle a lot of growth. As the network expands, you can simply add more areas, like opening new branches of the company. ISIS, on the other hand, is better suited for smaller networks. Its flat structure can become cumbersome as the network grows, like a startup trying to maintain its flat hierarchy with hundreds of employees. Now imagine a traffic jam suddenly clearing up. That's convergence in the networking world, how quickly the system adapts to changes. OSPF, being more hierarchical, can be a bit slower to react, like waiting for information to trickle down through management. ISIS, with its direct communication, converges much faster, like everyone in the startup, instantly knowing about a new project. Finally, let's talk complexity. OSPF, with its areas and routing tables, can be a bit more complex to configure, like navigating the intricate workings of a large corporation. ISIS, being flatter and more straightforward, is generally easier to set up and manage, like the streamlined operations of a tech startup. Now imagine driving on a highway with dedicated express lanes that bypass all the traffic. That's what segment routing, or SR, does for your network. It's a modern traffic management system that simplifies how data travels across the network, making it faster and more efficient. Think of it like this. Instead of relying on traditional routing protocols like OSPF and ISIS to figure out the entire path for each data packet, SR sets up predefined paths or segments through the network. These segments act like express lanes, allowing data to bypass unnecessary hops and reach its destination faster. SR is like having a GPS system that not only tells you the best route, but also pre-books dedicated lanes for you, making your journey smoother and faster. It's a game changer for modern networks, especially with the increasing demands of cloud computing, video streaming, and the Internet of Things. But when do you use each one? OSPF, with its hierarchical structure and scalability, is a good choice for large enterprise networks with complex routing needs. It's like choosing a well-established corporation with a proven track record for handling large-scale operations. ISIS, with its simplicity and fast convergence, is well suited for smaller networks or service provider environments where speed and efficiency are paramount. It's like opting for a nimble startup that can quickly adapt to changing demands. Segment routing, being a newer technology, is gaining popularity for its flexibility and ability to optimize traffic flows. It's like choosing a cutting-edge transportation system designed to handle the demands of a modern, interconnected world. Ultimately, the best choice depends on the specific requirements of your network. Factors like size, complexity, performance needs, and budget constraints all come into play. It's like choosing the right mode of transportation: a bicycle for short distances, a car for commuting, or an airplane for long-haul travel. The key is to carefully analyze your needs and choose the system that best fits your network's unique characteristics.